This is something you won't see in Dover today. A P and O ferry loading both cars full of tourists as well as heavy cargo. The ferry operator has suspended all passenger services to Calais, but is now operating 3 routes a day to Northern Ireland. For hauliers like Graham Early in Lockerbie, it's better to have reduced services than none at all.
The logistics industry is incredibly resilient. We've had to deal with driver shortages. We're having to deal with high fuel prices. We're a very resilient bunch, and undoubtedly we will weather this storm yet again. But there comes a point where enough's enough. Something has to be done.
Union reps believe more needs to be done to help the 800 staff impacted by the company's restructuring.
Families and communities have been left devastated with this. Some of our members had 40-odd years service with P and O and have been thrown in the scrap heap. So P and O must suffer consequences.
P and O have said its business was no longer viable. The company pointed to a £105 million loss in 2020 as the reason for their restructuring. The majority of hauliers that we've spoken to today have said they can't live with or without P and O, and that it has been very challenging over the last few weeks dealing with just Stena Line. Having more options makes the ease of the Easter period a little bit more flexible for them over the coming days. But it's local residents that are concerned about what happens next for this community.
People who have lost their jobs and were made redundant by P and O were treated very poorly. But yes, I mean, we do need the ferry service here for local employment.
Some drivers are refusing to take P and O ferries and are sticking with Stena.
I'm travelling home on the Stena, but the girl in our office, she said she could get me back on the P and O, but to be honest, if it was my own money, I don't even go on the P and O. I always prefer the Stena anyway, you know.
P and O have reiterated that they take the safety of their passengers and crew very seriously. The ferry operator handled 15% of all UK freight, with farmers on both sides of the Irish Sea hoping it's plain sailing from here on in. James Mahan, ITV News, Cairnyan.